Hi, all. Am I audible? Yeah, thank you. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. This is Kamala Jyotini, but you can call me KJ if you wish. So, and I go by the pronoun she or her. Currently, I'm a law student at VIT Chennai from India, and I'm extremely honored to be your moderator for this session as a part of various series of global webinars. So, first of all, please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat box by stating your name, which country you're from, as well as your university. Yeah, I already see a few names up in the chat box. Hi. Hi. See, we have Hasfa, we have Elkana, we have Lavender, we have Flavia, we have Charity. Oh, there's already 150 more people joining in. And I saw like 200 people who sent RSVP through the Millennium Fellow portal. So we're expecting a lot of other people to join as well. Excited to have you all here. We have people from Kenya, and we have people from South Sudan, India, Nigeria, Pakistan. Oh, that's such a diverse crowd right here. How are you feeling, Marcia?
Wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
It's exciting to see all those countries and all those wonderful names of people and students who are very interested in civic responsibility and learning about philanthropy.
That's great, right? So let's give them, a couple of them, a chance to speak up as well. Anybody who's interested to introduce yourselves, please do raise your hands, and then we'll unmute you so that you can go ahead. We see Hasba. So yeah, please.
Hello, everyone. So
Hi.
I'm Priya, and I'm from India, and currently I'm pursuing my law, and I'm working on SDG 16, that is Strong Institutions, Peace and Justice. And I am a global author. I have been awarded by the government of India. So that's all what I can say about myself. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Love that. Yes, we'll have Wajahat Hussain next.
Hello everyone, my name is Wajahat Hussain from University of Peshawar, Pakistan, and I'm currently working in a project that covers SDG 13 and 15. I'm basically a sociology student, last year sociology student in University of Peshawar. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for introducing yourself. Next, you have Jasper.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Kula Jasper, and I'm a student of Makerere University, pursuing Bachelor of Science in Conservation Biology. And my project is Skilling for the Future, where I'm targeting SDG 1, SDG 3, 5, and 8. Thank you so much, and I'm glad to be part of this fellowship. Yeah.
That's great. And next we'll have, what do we have? Yeah, we'll have Abu Kamara, please.
Hello, everybody. I am Abu Kamara from Sierra Leone, West Africa. I am a student pursuing agribusiness management. I am working on SDG 2, and my project is titled Youth in Agribusiness. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a number of Lehigh projects in Sierra Leone.
Thank you.
I'll be talking about those. It's interesting.
Yeah,
All right.
we are excited to hear about them now. And then we'll have Adams, please. We'll have two more speakers, Adams and then Hillary next. Adams, I'm really sorry. We're not able to hear you.
Hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right. Hi, everyone. I am Adam Taufik Pelumi from Lagos State University, Ikeja, Nigeria. Yeah, I'm currently working on SDG 3, 4, and 6. So my project is Shield Against Human Papilloma Virus. Thank you.
Wow, fabulous. Years ago, I went to school in China in the 80s, and a number of my friends were from Nigeria, and I got to visit the Nigerian embassy in Beijing. So very close connection. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Ma.
Thank you, Adams. We'll have Hillary next, please. And then rest of you, can you please put your introduction in the chat box so that we'll get back to you later. Yes, please.
Hello, good evening. Good evening from South Sudan. Am I audible?
Yes, you're
Yes,
audible.
yeah. My name is Khwaja Hilary Emmanuel. I am basing here at the University of Juba campus, South Sudan. My project is Youth for Green. That is Y4G, which is addressing SDG 13 with the linkage to SDG 14 and 15. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. As a Millennium Fellow myself, I'm really excited to hear all about your projects and the SDGs that everyone is sharing here. Today we'll just jump into today's session, which will focus on the importance of building relationships and forging partnerships, especially for young leaders looking into to make a social impact. So we are thrilled to have Marcia Barone with us, who is the Director of Individual Giving for the Western region of Lehigh University, who will share her expertise on strategic donor engagement and her journey in philanthropy. Before I pass over the mic to Marcia, I would like to introduce her in much more detail, just so I can give a context to all the people here. Marcia Barone is a seasoned development professional with over a decade of impactful service at Lehigh University, where she currently serves as the Director of Individual Giving for the Western region. Her tenure at Lehigh began in 2014, progressing from a discovery officer to her present role, where she oversees major gift initiatives and strategic donor engagement. Marcia's journey at Lehigh University includes significant roles such as Director of National Development and liaison to the Baker Institute for Entrepreneurship, where she played a crucial role in shaping national development strategies and fostering entrepreneurial innovation. Her earlier positions included Associate Director for the Asa Packard Society, where she was instrumental in coordinating high-profile fundraising events and managing donor relations. Beyond her contributions to Lehigh, Marcia has a rich history of leadership and community service. She has been a dedicated trustee on Perkiomen School since 1995, holding various leadership roles, including Treasurer, Strategic Plan Chair, and Chair of the Advancement Committee. Her work at Perkiomen School highlights her commitment to educational excellence and institutional advancement. Marcia also contributed significantly to the Junior League of the Lehigh Valley, where she served as president and was actively involved in strategic planning and volunteer management. Her efforts led to substantial growth in active membership and enhanced organizational impact. In addition to her roles in education and philanthropy, Marcia has experience in strategic consulting, having worked with the Upper Perkiomen Valley Chamber of Commerce to develop comprehensive strategic plans. Her early career included consulting roles at Peterson & Co. Consulting in New York, where she specialized in financial and economic advisory services. Marcia Barone's career is marked by a blend of strategic vision, community engagement, and leadership, reflecting her dedication to enhancing educational institutions and community organizations. And I will pass over the mic to Marcia for her keynote remarks. And you guys can do check her LinkedIn profile, which is really good. I followed it instantly after I saw it. So I'm sure you all will be interested in connecting with her as well.
Well, thank you for all your kind words. And I am just thrilled and honored to be asked to be a part of this. So thank you, Ariel, and everybody at the Millennium Fellows. What an amazing group of young leaders across the country. I was just scrolling through some of your projects, and it is so inspiring to see this. My career in philanthropy and fundraising and civic responsibility started many years ago. So I go back all the way to childhood and organizations that helped me and started my network. So for what you'll hear throughout my initial talk is about the importance of your network. So as a child, I was involved, of course, in my church and doing things within the local community, as well as smaller things that would be internationally related. But Girl Scouts, I don't know if anybody is active in Rotary, but Rotary International has a teen branch that's called Interact. And I started in that in high school. When I was an undergraduate, I did not have the amazing resumes and projects that you all did or are working on now, but I did things, I always had a fascination with anything international. So one of the things I did was I tutored the visiting scholars from China in English, but I also ran a graduate level program around civic responsibility where we would go to Second Harvest, which is a food bank, Turning Point, which helped abused women, and the third one was Habitat for Humanity. So always looking to help engage others and reach out and help the community. She mentioned my first job in New York was with consulting. I know one of you, I think the first woman, talked about wanting to be a lawyer. We appeared as consultants in law cases. But while I was in New York, I participated in something called New York Cares, which helps the underserved populations in New York. And I specifically helped elementary school students. And we would take them as groups to different cultural events to just help expose them to things outside their neighborhoods. And then Junior League was the next thing that I was very involved in. We're not very international. We have a couple countries, but it is an organization that's dedicated to expanding women's leadership skills and to promote volunteerism. And what it really does is give you the skills and the confidence to sit on nonprofit boards and really make a large difference. From there, I participated. I'm always looking for ways to expand my knowledge of the world. And I participated in a research project in the Kingdom of Tonga. I don't think we have anybody on from Tonga, but that was around the endangerment of the coral reefs. So I know you have an ocean branch, correct? That people that are students that are concerned about the life of the ocean. So that was an amazing opportunity to take part in that and to feel so connected when things happen, like when the volcano erupted not far from Tonga, and to know I had friends there to be concerned about. So as I went back to Lehigh to work in philanthropy, so you'll see there was a change in kind of my career. I went from consulting, then I raised children for a while, and I taught part-time. So I taught middle school math for 16 years and was my husband would say, a full-time unpaid volunteer for many organizations and sitting on boards. And again, expanding my network. And then when I looked to move back after taking care of my father who had a stroke for a while, I went back to Lehigh, and they were looking for ways to expand their philanthropy department. We call it advancement. And started to just make some wonderful, wonderful connections. So my job is foremost about bringing in the resources for Lehigh University. Now, Lehigh, if you're not aware of it, is a private school, undergraduate and graduate, in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. So at private schools, philanthropy and advancement departments are within the schools. A public school like a Penn State or University of Michigan, University of Iowa, they will have a foundation and have a separate philanthropic advancement portion. In the United States, philanthropy is very well known and accepted. I know in some countries it is not as readily seen and tends to be a little bit more of a hurdle. So at Lehigh, I have had the opportunity to just make connections, both in bringing dollars to projects, to scholarships, to building better facilities, but also what I get the most enjoyment out of is connecting alums and students who have common interests and alumni who can help excel programs where they may have resources to a prime minister or sometimes even the president of a country, or just a niche that a student is looking to get into. One of the boards that I recently sat on is Equitas, which deals with sexual trafficking throughout the world. And that has just been amazingly fulfilling. I was on that for about 3 years. And if you look at my LinkedIn, you will find that. But that's a connection I made through Lehigh. And one of the things that I was going to end with, but I will add now, is one of the best pieces of advice I ever got was meet somebody new every day. So if you're standing in line to get coffee, or you're at an airport and you're in line to go through security, just start up a conversation with the person next to you and link in with them. I hope everybody has a LinkedIn page, but it is the world of networking. One of the alums I visit with is a venture capitalist, and he gave me this advice. He had an executive consultant who told him that, and he now has over 10,000 people in his network. So when he went to do something new, like produce a movie, which he had no background in, he had all these connections to help him do it. And you just never know when you're going to go into a new area or somebody who knows somebody. The most important thing is to have door openers. So let me see. So some of the things that I've been involved with at Lehigh that I have felt really proud of because I helped to accelerate them by making those networking connections. For 2 years, I helped Michael Teheru, who did a Lehigh Africa Business Conference, and helped him to connect with alums who either are African or live in Africa to come back and be speakers. Ashley Pritchard is another amazing alum who's a political strategist and was in Myanmar for many years, helping to train and advise parliamentarians, but also helped with the refugee crisis. Ben Jacardi another Lehigh undergrad many years ago, but started Soccer's Without Borders, using soccer as a vehicle for positive change in underserved populations in the US and internationally. Again, back to kind of care for our oceans, David Stover and Kevin Ahern started Burio out of Chile, where they helped fishermen to recycle their fishing nets. So they were no longer causing pollution within the oceans. And they have now had a very successful company, B2B, business to business, where they now partner with Patagonia. If you know that company with recycled materials into clothing. They also make furniture, sunglasses, but they have a great kind of continuing expansion of how to recycle fishing nets, which is one of the biggest polluters. And on that same vein, Sam, a younger alumni, has been he is originally from Indonesia, and he has been having an amazing impact on cleaning up rivers. His company is called Sanggai Watch, and they have removed over 2.5 million pounds of plastics. And he has now started to segue into how do we now use this plastic rather than just removing it, but how can we recycle it? And they've started looking at furniture as an option. At Lehigh itself, we have something called our Global Social Fellowships. And I know we have at least one, if not more than one, student online from Sierra Leone. Our students just got back about 3 weeks ago from Sierra Leone. We have 5 different projects that have worked there this summer. In the past, we had an amazing one. The number one killer of pregnant women is urinary tract infections. And our students created something called a ukulele strip that allows 2 cents each for quick identification of that. But we also do other things with how artificial intelligence can help with strengthening healthcare access. We have a program with sickle cell anemia diagnosis by making the tests much less expensive. We deal in other ways with the mothers of Sierra Leone and nutrition needs of young children. Another big area we're in is the Philippines. I think you have some students from the Philippines as well. Our probably most successful project has been with Plastic Ventures. Again, recycling plastic and giving women an economic opportunity to collect the plastic and then sell the pellets to be made into other things. But many, Kazakhstan, I don't know if you have any students from Kazakhstan. But another big area for us in Kazakhstan, some of the programs there are dealing with pollution, research at the college, undergraduate and graduate level, how to make sure that their research is being accepted and following standard international practices, and food security and nutrition in many of the countries. India, one of my favorite projects is Professor Sengupta works with over 300 villages to remove arsenic from water and provide an economic viability by teaching the people in the villages how to run these organizations, but also at a small amount, getting income from people to get clean water. We've had programs in Uganda since 2013 in many different areas. And one of our latest stars is Dulra from Nigeria. He founded .com at Lehigh. So social responsibility in the terms of he helps students who are immigrating from country to country have a very easy way to exchange currency. So in all these, why I mention all of these is because I have alums who touch on some of them and speak to the students, whether it's specifically about the country or maybe it's a connection to a cabinet member of a company with one of my students who has interests in Zimbabwe. He was looking for healthcare connections. And one of the other areas we have a program for undergrad and graduate students called Global Village, and it's 5 weeks every summer at Lehigh. And I've also been very helpful in securing speakers for that. We accept no more than 5 students from any one country. And it's really an amazing program. Some of the speakers I've gotten there are parents who run a program called Latin Insights. That parent, Marcia Barone, has been a consultant on 13 different presidential elections throughout South and Central America. One of the past cabinet members of the country of Georgia was one of our project providers. So it's just wonderful to continue to grow my network and to, again, it's wonderful to bring money to projects, but sometimes it's even more impactful to bring the network. So kind of in conclusion, I want to tell you, just really understand the power of what you are doing. It really takes one person to inspire a group, to then inspire the town or city, and from there inspire the country and hopefully inspire the world. So, many of the projects I talked about really started with one person's passion and led to others really wanting to join them. Again, network. Keep expanding your LinkedIn portfolio or other ways. Find ways to just continue to grow your skill set. And the skill set could just be helping one other person, or it could be something as organized as Rotary, or if there is a junior league in your country, expanding your skill set, through free LinkedIn training. Just continue to look for ways. And, one thing that I think helped me in the past was even being part of theater in high school and college. Being able to public speak is very important, and to do it with confidence. So I don't know if that kind of hits what you were looking for, but I'm open to any questions or any more that I can help with.
That was exactly what we were looking for, and I would love to hear about each and every project that your alumni that they came up with in different countries, and how that has created a social impact in every community they have entered. And personally, it resonated with me as well, since I am currently a vice president at Rotary Club of Creation, which is my college right now. So I am also collaborating my current project under Millennium Fellowship with them. So yes. So I will skip on to the questions from others as well. We'll take questions from the crowd here, so you can put it in the chat box, or you can even raise your hand so that ma'am will answer your questions. So until then, I will skip on to this very essential doubt, or like your opinion on this particular aspect. You told about how networking and then having connections is how it helped you go through till now. How it is, we can see how it is very valuable to the current young leaders right now. So what would be your advice, for them to forge such sustainable connections as well as, partnerships in the future or for their projects right now?
Sure. So, I am probably at Lehigh, they would call me the biggest proponent of LinkedIn. And thank you for your compliments on my page. I would say you don't realize how often people go, that kind of is the international easy way to make a check on somebody. What have they done? Who are they? Make sure you have a really good picture. Make sure that you have a good statement about what you want to accomplish. The hardest thing in getting people to cooperate with you is, what is that hook? How are they going to connect with you? So I'll give you a kind of odd example. One alum that I really wanted to connect with, who was involved in satellite production, he wasn't responding. So I went through LinkedIn and saw that he was a member of a Porsche club. So everybody knows the car manufacturer Porsche. So my next email, the subject line said 911 or 924, which is two kinds of Porsches. And he responded right away. I found the hook that would get him to respond. So when you are reaching out to people, it may not look like a direct line, but find out what their interests are and how to get connected with them. If it is a cold call, it might be 1 out of 5 people respond. But again, if you find a good hook, always make it short. And if you're asking to meet, don't ask for more than 15 minutes. If they find that they're engaged with what your passion is, they'll go longer. But it's easier for somebody to say yes to 15 minutes than it is to, can we meet for an hour? The power of not being afraid of knocking on doors, and rejection is not a bad thing. It's just a not now. It's not a no. So just keep that in mind. If you are really passionate about your mission, it is not hard to get other people excited about what you are doing. And don't be afraid to reach out to people who may look like competitors, because they may just lift you up. So you may be doing something with plastic removal in Nigeria, but you're talking to somebody in the Kingdom of Tonga about it. They may have a different approach. There may be international organizations that give out grants. I do not do grants. My philanthropy work is all with personally with people who lift it up. They may refer you to a company or something else, but that's just the niche that I feel. We have other people at my university who do corporations and government grants.
So it's not just finding one person's interest, but also how do we form a community of sorts? For example, if you're approaching one institution or like a particular individual or an organization for support, right? It's not just the fear of rejection, like how you said, it's not a no shouldn't stop you from pursuing what you want, right? But then, as someone who has been essentially on both sides of grant making, are there any best practices that you can share with us, other than? So yeah.
So you're talking about grants?
Yes.
Is that what you said? So if it's public knowledge, the thing that I would do, again, it gets down to personal relationships. I would look at who's on the board of that grant foundation and see if you can make connections to somebody on that board. It is sometimes really tough to break through large organizations, again, so they hear the passion, they get a lot of noise. So you think, like college admissions, Lehigh takes 1,500 students a year, but we get 32,000 applications. How do you, I quit the analogy of that, how do you lift yourself up so that, you're seen as a great candidate? Make sure you have data. Data analytics is very important these days. People want to understand the impact of what you're doing. But first and foremost, have a really good statement about why this is a problem. So I deal a lot with entrepreneurs, and what a lot of entrepreneurs that are not successful do is they solve a problem they think there is, but it really isn't. And you need to have a big market. So, putting numbers in a civic responsibility, when you're an entrepreneur, you'd put it, what's your revenue model? Well, it's different. Your revenue model is people, the environment. So you want to say, what is the impact? There are, I get back to Professor Sengupta in India. There are X number of villages that have a problem with arsenic in the water. Here are pictures of what arsenic does to people. Very compelling. I mean, it's just horrific. What is that problem you're solving? Really talk about the problem, and then how your solution will impact and help that problem. I don't know. I think a lot of your students probably are a lot smarter than me. They really seem quite impressive. So I hope I'm adding value to your day.
Yes, Samira. The thing is, a lot of us have a lot of ideas for start projects and then how it can be impactful, but then it's very prospective. The results will be in the future. So right now, when we do start a project, how do I say this? How do we have a community that are also in whatever we are interested in, as well as have a wider reach for that too. For example, let's take mental health, right, which is currently one of the project that I'm working for. So mental health, people understand it, but then it's a taboo, and people don't see it firsthand, like how you see air pollution or landfills, something like that, like any other environmental problem.
So mental health is a really interesting topic. In the United States, we have a lot of statistics around increases in teen suicides, college suicides. I've recently met with a group of undergraduate students who are Chinese, and they have we have a pretty strong mental health support at our university, but what we don't have are an understanding of the cultural differences. So their social entrepreneurship group is specifically around Lehigh and how to garner a mental health consultant who not only speaks Cantonese and Mandarin, but also understands the cultural differences in how a student can talk about what their concerns are and what expectations are, in this case, from their families, and how it's very different from American students. So again, they are pulling stats together about how many Chinese students, how many Chinese American students there are at Lehigh. Internationally, undergrad and graduate, China is probably our number one country sending students to Lehigh. India would be probably number 2 or number 3. And, really understanding cultural differences in healthcare. But again, to me, it gets back to, I don't know the stigmas remind me, you're from India?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I don't know the cultural stigmas around reaching out for mental health access, but you may find stats from your university or another university. Again, what is that problem? It's unmet. Here's how I see it getting met. If it's not met, this is what continues to happen. You don't need to personally know any of them. What I was trying to tell you is that it's getting to know them more online if you're looking through internet about some information or on LinkedIn, what's the hook that will get you the meeting? You don't need to know them. It's just how the biggest hurdle is getting a meeting with an investor. And how are you going to raise enough noise, nice noise, that is going to have them at least open your email? There are ways. I'm trying to think. Right now, I'm using Boomerang, which is a way that I can see if people open my email. It's about $60 a year, and it helps me to know, is somebody completely ignoring me, or are they actually reading? And maybe it's just not now. I'm busy. I'll tell you, one of the things that has been very successful to me in trying to reach out to people is and again, I have more data probably than you do, contact information, because you're cold calling people. But sometimes you can find phone numbers online too. But what I generally do is I will email somebody for a visit. 3 days later, I call them, and almost 95% of the time, it's a voicemail that I leave. And then I follow up right away as soon as I hang up the phone with another email forwarding the first one that says response kindly requested in the subject line. And then my first sentence is, I know how busy every day is, and emails in my inbox just slip to the bottom. I hope you don't mind me resending to put this at the top of your inbox, and I'm sorry I missed you on my recent phone call. I would say I get responses about 75% of the time after I go through those 3 steps. I will try again 2 days later, forwarding the email again. It's usually that third try that gets me the meeting. After that, I've got to start to look for another hook to try and get the meeting. It generally fails. And then I will probably wait a month or 2 before I try again. But, I heard back from one gentleman once who said, I've been getting your emails for 4 years. I'm really sorry. My dad had a heart attack, and I've been caring for him. And I finally have some free time. Let's talk. So unless they say no, to me, it's a not yet.
Thank you for sharing that, ma'am. I think we also all here have received mails from MCN and how they've sent reminders to us. So I guess that is a strategic way to make them attend this meeting, which is in fact very helpful and useful for all of us to, not just for our project, but as well as our personal growth. And we'll move on to the people who raise their hands. We have Barfa Malik, then we'll have Shazia, and then we'll continue. Barfa, please go ahead. Yes, yeah, we can see you as well.
You can see me?
Yes, hello.
Yes.
Hello, hi. Good evening. So first of all, Miss Marcia Barone, it's an absolute honor to have you here to speak to you. Like, maybe it's on a Zoom call, but it's an honor to speak to you, first of all. And to even be a Millennium Fellow, it's a really big deal. So thank you from the bottom of my heart to be here, to lecture us about it, to get us through all of this. Like, I really admire you as a person. I've gone through your LinkedIn. I've seen your work in Pennsylvania. Really, really, it's absolutely amazing what you've done.
Thank you.
So regarding my project, first of all, I'm Barha Malik. I am a second-year law student from University of Kashmir. And as you can know, my project is quite personal to me. My project deals with PTSD survivors since I have lived in Kashmir my entire life. And Kashmir is a war zone, as you must know. It's an active war zone between India and Pakistan. It's been like this since the 1900s. The late 1900s exactly. So I've grown up seeing warfare. I have grown up seeing people who have been in disdain, who have been through a lot. So naturally this project came very natural to me, that I wanted to help those people out. But since I'm just a 21-year-old and I don't have that many resources at my hand that I can help them with it, that is why I made this project, and I've been trying to get into touch with people who have more resources than I do. But as an inexperienced 21-year-old who only has her education as her backing, a lot of people tend to take us, maybe not that seriously. They say that you are a little bit inexperienced for such a big project. So my question is that how can I convince people to invest into my project, telling them and having them an assurity that it's something new, it's something that has not been done before. Yeah, a lot of NGOs and a lot of organizations do work here on a local level, but it's not something that has made a huge impact that it will reach the United Nations, like what the Millennium Fellowship is going to do. So that is what I want to seek your advice on. How can I make people understand my goals better? And how can I ask them to invest into my project? So how would you say that I go about it?
What is your project?
My project is that I want to establish like a healthcare facility center for PTSD survivors. See, in Kashmir, like the literacy rate isn't that much. I mean, it's quite high, but it's not that much. Mental health issues are still a taboo here. Many people who are like quite orthodox culture in culture terms, they do not see mental health issue as a very prominent issue. That is something that is not under your control. So I want to make the people aware that what you go through on a daily basis is actually your trauma. It is your trauma manifesting through physical manifestations. That the problems that you're getting, your constant back pains, your panic attacks, is actually the result of what you've seen through all these years. I know my peers, I know people who have lost family members to war. And now that they're getting older, they're in their 20s, they're having difficulties contacting people, they're having difficulties with intimacy, they're having problems trusting people. I want them to understand that these are all connected to how you were brought about. Those things that occurred in your childhood, the things that you saw in your childhood, they're not just mere memories. They had an impact on you. I want to establish medical centers that will give people an awareness of what has actually happened so that they can live a better life. It all relates to the Sustainable Development Goal 3, good health and well-being. So that is what I wanted to ask you, that how can I get people to invest into my project so that I can actually have an impact, not just speak about it?
So I applaud you for your passion. So as a great example for everybody else online, if you couldn't feel what and I'm pronouncing right, Barha?
It's Barha, yes.
Barha is the passion she brings to this project is incredible. Now, do you have a list of organizations that you've been trying to reach through to?
See, I have been getting in touch with like NGOs that are surrounding me, but ever since that I've got into those NGOs, I can only be there and be installed as a member. At first, there's a social hierarchy in NGOs. You cannot directly become a manager or something that has a valuable position that people will listen to you.
So yeah, it's interesting. Lehigh has NGO status, and looking for partners. Why don't you connect with me offline and let me see if there's any way that I can connect you with our group, because they will go to the UN to argue for other organizations, and everybody, and not in any way to there are so many different wars going on right now, and it is so sad, but I am not aware of yours, which makes me sad. You need to lift up your voice where others, there's many who are looking at the same thing, but the passion you bring, the understanding you bring, and I'll tell you, if you read the beginning of my LinkedIn, I find the passion of storytelling is immense. So when you are talking about your project, being able to tell the story of, you were kind of general, but if you have a specific example without revealing identity, it often helps bring it down to a very personal level.
Exactly.
So the organization I was involved with international sexual trafficking, when they are fundraising, they may be talking about one woman or one young boy. But that brings it down so much to a personal level for people.
It does.
I would look for partners who might be able to lift this up. And perhaps I can talk to Bill Hunter, who runs our NGOs, to see if he knows about if there's other opportunities. But thank you for making me aware of this. And again, I am so honored to be a part of this today. I just wish you were all Lehigh students so I could meet you every day. And I will uplift our program again, Global Village, which happens in the summer for 5 weeks. If any of you come or enroll, let me know because I want to meet you.
Trust me, there's nothing more than I want to meet you in person, since I've told you I've been a big fan of your work. And thank you so much for being so understanding about it and taking it on a personal level, that you want to go offline and help me with it. It means a great deal to me. It really
I wish
does.
I could do that for everybody. I won't be able to, but I'm just kind of embarrassed that I don't know about this war. And I have been working with a number of our alums to support Lehigh mental health. And again, I talked about the group of Chinese students. It is a huge, huge need. And then you put on top of it a war and the loss.
I think the reason that you have not heard about it is because it happened in the late 1900s, but still we do feel the repercussions of it to this day. Right now, it's completely stable. Kashmir is stable. We're happy people, but the repercussions are still there. That is what I've been trying to tell people, that even though it happened like 20, 30 years ago, you can still see the physical manifestations of war PTSD in people.
Yeah.
Maybe that is why you haven't heard about it, because there isn't a sense of urgency in Kashmir right now. but it definitely had a really volatile history.
Well, world news affects many of the countries and many of the countries online. So, they can only cover so many, and they pick the few that they think are going to resonate the most. And, many other countries are unheard. And, I try to travel a lot, and I've been to many countries, but not many of the ones online. And, I just feel cultural understanding is so important. And I've been helping our Office of International Affairs to form an advisory council. And in doing that, reaching out to alums who do have specific skill sets. I talked about Ashley Pritchard in Myanmar, but all of East Asia. Another one, Mark Holtzman, is very active in Africa and Kazakhstan. And another one, Marcella Berland, is Central and South America. It is amazing when you can just, and for example, the connection with Marcella, I haven't heard from her since 2016, but this opportunity came up. I was LinkedIn and I connected. So again, just keep bringing that passion and get your stories, give stories, data, and then stories.
I will. I promise you that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for speaking to me.
Thank you so much for speaking up, Farha. It really means a lot. And if you don't mind staying back, ma'am, we have 3 more questions and we have 3 more people to speak up.
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And Marcia, is it all right if you can stay back for 10 more minutes so that you can answer?
Sure.
Thank you so much. Next, we'll have Shazia. Yes. Hi, Shazia. Yeah.
Hello, Shazia.
Hello, ma'am. Am I audible?
You are on.
So how are you, ma'am?
Very good. Good. Where are you calling from?
My name is Shazia and I belong from Qaida Balochistan, which is a province of Pakistan, basically. I'm currently a graduate of BSIT, and my project is that I have built an e-commerce platform for those who are construction, for the construction platform. Yes, on which I'm bridging the gap between those who wants to renovate their home and those who wants to provide the materials. And through this project, I want to help those who are searching for the jobs. E-commerce is in today's era, e-commerce is the best platform to work with online.
So e-commerce, did you say in construction?
Yes.
That's amazing. It's exciting to hear that coming from a woman. So are you an engineer, a civil engineer? Or?
I'm not a civil engineer. I'm a software engineer.
Oh, okay. So is it software construction? Is it software construction?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So basically, through this e-commerce platform, I'm working on a SDG 8 and SDG 9. Well, being an entrepreneur and at this young age, I have really faced so many difficulties. I have been searching for the grants and fundings. People suggest me that you should not go for the investment. And at this age, I was at my student level, I was not able to broadly scale my project. No.
So what is the problem you are solving?
The problem that I'm solving
what is the problem that you're solving? Why did you create this e-commerce? Oh, you froze. Am I froze?
No, I think she's. We'll give her a minute to come back, and we'll have the next question until she figures out the internet. We'll have Nasasi. I'm really sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. And then next we'll have Robert. Nasasira, can we have you next? I guess, yeah. You're on mute now.
Hello?
For showing your enthusiasm, and then I see a lot of hands still raised up, and I really apologize. We have come to the end of the session, and I want to thank the participants and as well as our speaker, Marcia Barone. It was really such an inspiration for you to share your story, and people who still have questions, please do reach out to her through her LinkedIn handle, if that's okay with you, and they can ask their questions there.
Sure.
So thank you so much.
It may take me a while to get back. We're ending our busy season now at Lehigh, but I really appreciate this opportunity. It has been wonderful. I hold you all in my heart and wish I could hug everybody. And thank you for what you're doing for your country, for your community, and for the world. This is, it's very inspiring. And, you told me 50 to 100 people. This was this was amazing. So thank you again. Thank you, Ariel, wherever you are.
We almost have 300 people here, so that is quite a number of people that showed up. And please, everyone, please do come for Casey Rue's global webinar, which is on Friday, and we are looking forward to that as well. And of course, I would love to give a virtual hug to you, Marcia. So we all will coming to the end of the session. Maybe you all can send a hugging emoji in the chat box. So like virtual hug to everyone. And really love that you all stay till the end. And thank you so much for coming here. And bye. That's
My
it from
best.
my side.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.